All right, let's get those glutes going. So this is phase 1, 3. This is where we're going to start. We need to make sure we're getting the glutes turned on. So what I want is the setup with all of the bands attached to your handles. So we want a lot of tension with this. We don't want to just have one of the small bands on there. So position yourself on your back. Go behind your knees with the band. And we're going to start out with your feet together, knees together. Cross the band. And then choke down on a little bit so that we have something reasonably rigid to push out against. So we would rather have more tension versus less. Then we're going to move your feet out to about 3 to 4 inches. Knees are going to be the same width. And the sequence is going to be, and if you're not familiar with Kegel exercises or engaging the pelvic floor, the easiest way it's described is if you're urinating and you stop the flow of urine. That's your pelvic floor. So first we want to engage the pelvic floor, then push out on the band, put all the weight on your heels, and elevate into the bridge, squeezing your glutes or your rear end as much as possible. Now, if you find that you have more sensation in your low back or your hamstring or your inner thigh, that's not something we want. So go ahead and straighten your legs out and do 10 glute clenches. So just tighten the cheeks, release the cheeks, tighten the cheeks, release the cheeks. 10 times, that'll prime it. And then we're going to go back through that same sequence. So feet are about 3 to 4 inches apart. Pelvic floor first, so engage with a Kegel, outward pressure on the band, weight on your heels, then elevate into the bridge, squeeze your glutes as much as you can so they are the primary sensation, and you're holding this for 10 seconds, and then come back down, and then you would repeat that 3 more times. So 4 by 10 second holds, making sure your glutes are doing the work. Now, when we move into weeks 4, 5, and 6, we're going to go to something called the frog bridge. And all we're going to do is the same bridge position, but your knees are going to go out wider, the soles of your feet are going to press together, and you're going to keep pressing them together and go through up and down range of motion. So I have the soles of my feet together, pressing them together, and elevating into the bridge, and back down. So now we're not holding at the top, we're going through repetitions. Big squeeze, back down. So the more you press your feet together, the better contraction you're going to get into those glutes. Now, your third progression. So looking at weeks 7, 8, and 9, we're going to go into the bridge, stay in the bridge, and then we're going to march. So we're going to unload one foot, get some more emphasis on one side, and then transition to the other. So by now, those glutes should be firing off nicely. Your feet are only going to be a couple of inches apart at most. We're going to bridge up, and then we're going to go for a total count 10 to 20. So I'm going to pick a foot up, right glute is on, set it down, and left glute is on. So the march doesn't have to be very big. All we're doing is unloading so that we can get one side working on its own, the other side working on its own. Make sure you stay up in your bridge and make sure that your glutes are the primary sensation. So we're going back and forth again for a total count of anywhere from 10 to 20. And then come back down. All right, the final progression. We're going to go into a true single leg bridge. So this is, excuse me, weeks 10, 11, and 12. So with the single leg bridge, you're going to go into the same position, but you're going to take one leg and pull it back against your torso. We need to keep contact with the torso. So from here, maintaining that contact, I'm putting all the weight on my heel and bridging up and back down. So now I should have my right glute doing the work, moving me. And if you find that you can't go up very far, go to one of your hip flexor stretches, the standing or the couch stretch. Do that stretch first and then come back to this. So keeping your leg back, make sure that we're only able to move through the hip and not through the lower back. So we're going to go through 10 repetitions on one side and then repeat 10 on the other side.